Things took a very surprising turn today, and I must say, a very pleasant one.
We back, baby.
We back, baby?
That's right, we back, baby! Anyways, hi guys, this is Nick here, and if you haven't heard the news, Spider-Man is back in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And all of us Marvel fanboys are rejoicing. Finally, they made a deal. This is what I've been hoping for the past 6 weeks. Now, if you couldn't tell by my background here, I am a humongous Spider-Man fan. I've been so since 2002 with the first Raimi movie. So today, to celebrate the fact that Spider-Man is back in the MCU, I wanted to walk you through my history with the character. Starting with when I got a costume when I was a kid from my aunt, or was it my grandma? I don't know. I don't even remember. But all I knew was just, I didn't know who the character was at all. All I had was a comic book accurate costume, a small little die-cast Spider-Man. I didn't know anything about the character. It wasn't until May 2002 at a friend's birthday party when I went to go see Sam Raimi's Spider-Man for the very first time, and I was blown away by it. I mean, holy crap, I loved all the acting, all the action, everything. Then after I saw the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie, my second reintroduction to the character came in the form of the 90s animated show. My very first experience with it was with the Daredevil vs. Spider-Man VHS tape that they had of the Daredevil arc, plus some extra episodes where they had Framed, The Man Without Fear, Ultimate Slayer, and Tombstone. I think those were the only ones that were on that VHS tape. So and then I started watching the reruns of it on Jetix. Actually, before that, I went to go see Spider-Man 2 with my friend and my dad in 2004, and it was better than the first movie. Though I liked the Goblin story better, I still loved Doc Ock in it. And then after that, I still continued with the 90s series, kept watching the reruns on Jetix, when they had Jetix on Toon Disney and ABC Family. Well, now it's Freeform, but I miss the old ABC Family days when they had the kids block on in the mornings, when I used to get up and watch Spider-Man and Power Rangers, and to a lesser degree, Digimon Frontier, or Digimon Evolution as it was called when I was growing up, along with Beyblade as well. But I barely remember anything about Beyblade. It was just on, and I was just watching it. Anyways, back to Spider-Man. Then after that, I kept going back and forth with the 90s animated show, and I got a second VHS tape that was from the 90s animated show. That was the Return of the Green Goblin, where they had the Green Goblin arc where they basically were adapting the night Gwen Stacy died, but they couldn't even show a death scene for Mary Jane, who replaced Gwen Stacy. Instead, they had her fall through a portal and not die, but be stuck in limbo. So that's all I remember. I also remember one of my favorite episodes before that was Goblin War, when they finally pitted the Hobgoblin and the Green Goblin against each other. That was one of my favorite episodes. I think I saw it on TV first, then I got the VHS tape after that. Sadly, I don't have those VHS tapes anymore, because I stupidly gave them away to a Goodwill, or one of the Goodwills that I was working at the back in like 2016, and I have no idea why I gave those away. I probably wasn't thinking because I already had them on all the episodes downloaded digitally, and I thought I wouldn't need the VHS tapes anymore. Anyways, came 2007, and I saw Spider-Man 3. When I first saw it, I did like the movie. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat when I first saw it, but then as time sank in, it began to kind of slowly descend when I started getting weird looks for imitating emo Peter Parker, because I thought that was cool at the time because I was a kid and I was into Spider-Man, and I thought Spider-Man was anything Spider-Man was cool, and I didn't know how everyone would react to emo Peter. I mean, at the time I thought it was cool because it was Spider-Man, but as time went on, I started to realize how crappy that was, how stupid and utterly moronic of me to do that. Yeah. But I still love the Raimi trilogy. That was like one of my favorite trilogies of Spider-Man movies. I mean, Spider-Man, I mean, I used to like Spider-Man. I don't like Spider-Man 3 as much as I did before, but the first two Raimi films are among my favorite Spider-Man films. Then, in 2010, we got the news that Sony was rebooting Spider-Man with The Amazing Spider-Man, which it was due out in 2012, and it came out in 2012. I mean, it wasn't as good as the Raimi films. I mean, I liked both Amazing Spider-Man and 2014's Amazing Spider-Man 2 when they both came out, and as time went on, I kind of lost interest in them, mainly because of Tom Holland as Spider-Man. To this date, he is the very, very best iteration of Spider-Man. He is the best on-screen one. And Tom Holland, if you're listening, you're the best. And I'm glad that you're continuing to play Spider-Man in the MCU. You tie with Tobey Maguire. You and Tobey Maguire tie for the best Spider-Man, but you are the absolute best Spider-Man, man. You do a good job. Anyways, yeah, I'm glad they introduced him in Captain America Civil War. When they made the announcement in 2015, before Age of Ultron came out, then they introduced him in 2016's Captain America Civil War. I loved his introduction. I loved seeing him alongside Iron Man and Captain America and everyone. And I equally loved Homecoming. Homecoming was one of the best Spider-Man movies I've seen. And even better than the Raimi trilogy, at least in my opinion. I mean, if you like the Raimi trilogy better, that's fine. Whatever floats your boat. But I do still hold the Raimi trilogy still holds a special place in my heart. But I have to admit, Tom Holland is better as Spider-Man. Then came Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Those blew me away. They were awesome. I mean, even with Spider-Man coming back through the portal in Endgame, that was awesome. I loved it when he was like alongside the Guardians and Doctor Strange and everyone. Even loved him in Infinity War when he had the banter with Tony Stark and everyone. Him and Robert Downey Jr. play off each other well. I'm sad that he won't be in any future MCU movies, or rather he's going to make a cameo appearance in Black Widow, but that is set before the events of Infinity War and Endgame, so that takes place after Civil War. So, yeah, I guess. Yeah. But it's a prequel, so it's not really a sequel. We don't know what's going on. I mean, I think he's obviously going to reprise his role as Iron Man for the Disney Plus series What If, along with all the other MCU actors. And I'm hoping they're able to get Tom Holland on board for the What If series, because I would love to see Spider-Man in there too. Another animated version of Spider-Man. Or maybe even it can stretch to a live-action series for Spider-Man too, hopefully. Yeah, and then come Far From Home, and I believe it was the best. It blew Homecoming and other Raimi trilogy out of the water. So yeah, Far From Home. I'm glad they included Jake Gyllenhaal too, because they have another actor that I was familiar with. The only movie I was familiar with Jake Gyllenhaal with was Brothers, which also co-starred Tobey Maguire from the Raimi trilogy, and Natalie Portman, who plays Jane Foster, aka now the Lady Thor, or however, whatever you're supposed to call her. I'm not trying to offend anyone by naming her differently than what other people are, but she is essentially Thor, a female version of Thor. And Taika Waititi, please don't kill me, alright? Please don't kill me or crucify me for this. I mean, I love Thor Ragnarok, Taika Waititi. But please, keep whatever you did in Ragnarok, whatever the perfect balance, to balance the characters and not overshadowing other characters. Please do that for Love and Thunder. Because I don't want any politics shoved in, because I just want to be entertained. Taika Waititi. Anyways, off that tangent, I went off topic. Oh, there's also another thing I forgot to mention. The new animated series, the Spider-Man new animated series from 2003. My history with that was I think I saw a portion of it on MTV, which was the one with the Kingpin, but I didn't see the whole episode. It wasn't until 2011 where I got the DVD, and I watched the whole series after that. And yeah, a lot of people don't like the series, but I honestly love this series. I mean, even if it has Neil Patrick Harris voicing it, which is an odd choice. I mean, yeah, I mean, he's good at voicing the character, but he's just not Spider-Man. I don't see him as Spider-Man. I mean, his voice, the way he voiced the character, made his voice deeper and not sound exactly like himself. That's what kind of like masked the fact that it was him, which is good. But like, and no offense to you, Neil Patrick Harris. I mean, even though I don't agree with you on certain things, I still want peace. All right, I still want peace. A Tony Stark reference there, right? Anyways, and now I'm eagerly waiting for them to wrap up the series, or actually, on that topic, if they continue past a third one into a new trilogy, I have some ideas in Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, Amy Pascal, anyone who's listening to this. I have ideas to pitch for it on what you can do. Try adapting you can try to introduce the symbiote into it if Sony will allow you to. You don't have to introduce Venom, but you can introduce the symbiote somehow into it. Also, at the same time, you can reintroduce the Goblin as well, or a new version of the Goblin. Different from Willem Dafoe's portrayal, even James Franco's portrayal, and Dane DeHaan's portrayal. I mean, by far the best portrayal of the Goblin was Willem Dafoe, but like Marvel Studios, I'm sure you can top Willem Dafoe's performance. And if you want to get Willem Dafoe back, then by all means. I mean, you brought J.K. Simmons back, which I'm thankful for from the bottom of my heart. I'm thankful that you brought J.K. Simmons back as Jameson. So you can do any other references too. You can bring back Willem Dafoe as Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin. You can even introduce all the Osborns too. So what you can do is, I have an idea. So you can introduce the symbiote and not have it like Spider-Man 3, but like more close to the Spectacular Spider-Man series, where he's actually angry about stuff. Like, just bringing out his anger. And a little bit of the 90s series too, where he's just wailing on bad guys. Also, you can mix that in with the Goblin. You can combine the symbiote story and the Goblin story. And you can probably readapt the death of Gwen Stacy too. But this time have, like the Raimi trilogy did, have MJ, or Michelle Jones, or as she is now, played by Zendaya, get captured by the Goblin. But also, Spider-Man does have the symbiote at this point, but he does end up saving MJ from the Goblin, from being killed by the Goblin, but then he beats the Goblin to a bloody pulp, and then realizes what he's doing, and then he doesn't end up killing the Goblin, but he ends up bringing him to jail, and Yeah, and then he ends up taking the symbiote off. And then we'll see where that leads. Whatever Sony lets you allow to do with the symbiote storyline. If they want to bring Venom into the fold, if they want you to reboot Venom, then by all means, do it. Because the Tom Hardy Venom was okay, but it wasn't great. And I mean, the reason why Spider-Verse was actually good was because Sony didn't have their hands on it because it was an animated feature. Also, what else? Oh yeah, another story plot line you can do from the rumors about another rumor that was rumored about a month ago about a new deal that was going to eventually be struck is to have a new trilogy of Peter in high school, not high school, but college, and meeting up with Firestar and Iceman, therefore making an adaptation of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Also, throw in Norman Osborn and Harry Osborn. Have him meet Harry Osborn in college. Also have MJ and Ned, and even Betty there too, attending the same college. That they're all still in touch. That they're all, so that Ned can still be his guy in the chair, and MJ can still be supporting him, and working with Ned as the woman in the chair too. Yeah, and then introduce Harry Osborn as they did in the Jack Kirby era of the comics. So yeah, anyways, guys, that is it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified of any future videos. Also, I'm working on a edit of a live-action Spider-Man, a trailer for a live-action Spider-Man show on Disney+. So I'm working on that. I'm doing it in the style of the teaser trailer for the new animated series. And I'm still in the planning stages and trying to work out some things with my editor. Anyway, look out for that on my second channel, Nick O, where I have all the different edits that I do. Anyways, that's the video, guys. Take care. Bye.